Hi there. To start off this science experiment, I would like to ask you a question. Are you a living creature? I assume that your answer will be yes. And with that in mind, what is the similarity between them? A human, a dog, an earthworm, and a seahorse? Well, it is actually that they all have DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid, which is the molecular blueprint for a living thing. It is the basic building block for every living thing. The DNA first build proteins, and then proteins come together to make cells. Cells makes tissue, tissue makes organs, and at the end, the human body. And so, today in our experiment, we are gonna look into our own DNA by extracting our own DNA. Here are some steps to do this experiment. 1. Mix 500 ml drinking water with 1 tablespoon of salt. 2. Stir until salt is dissolved, then transfer 3 tablespoons of salt water into a clear cup. 3. Gargle the salt water for 1 minute. And it is through this gargling process that the cheek cells in your mouth will go with the salt water, and that is where we will extract our DNA from. And so, after 1 minute, spit the water back into the cup, and cheek cells will be suspended in the salt water. 5. Gently stir the salt water with 1 drop of soap. 6. Now in a separate cup, mix 20 ml of isopropyl alcohol and 2 drops of food coloring. 7. Tilt the saltwater cup and gently pour the alcohol so that it forms a layer on top. And for the last step, you have to wait for 2.5 minutes, and then you see a white clump and strings forming, and that white clump and string forming will be your own DNA. Yes. And so DNA is a very interesting thing, and many biologists and scientists have been trying to investigate into it. So one thing they found is that if you unwrap all of the DNA you have in all your cells, you could reach the moon 6,000 times. Also, 99.9% of our DNA sequence is the same as other humans. Also, if you type 60 words per minute, 8 hours a day, it will take 50 years to type the human genome, which is the entire genes in our body. And if you have siblings, it's like sisters and brothers, you guys look very alike because you guys share 50% of your gene. Moreover, a parent and a child share 99.5% of the same DNA. That's why you guys look very similar to your parents. Moreover, it has been found that humans and chimps share anywhere between 94 to 99% of DNA. Now, this comparison between the human DNA and the chimp's DNA supports evolution, which is an area in biology that scientists have been investigating and questioning for many years. And this DNA knowledge that we have and comparison that we have really supports evolution, which means that it is very likely that humans evolved from chimps. And so the gene understanding we have helps support this. Not only chimps, scientists at Cambridge University believe humans have DNA in common with mudworm, which is the closest invertebrate genetic relative to us. Also, it is found that human and cabbage share 40 to 50% of the common DNA. Now this can actually technically mean that we are actually 50% cabbage. which is pretty fascinating, don't you think? So what do we do with our knowledge of DNA? What are some applications we can put into with our knowledge in DNA? Well, one is to diagnose diseases and find treatments for them. Another is forensics in DNA, where detectives and CIA will look into DNA extractions from the crime scene and find the criminal. Another big part of our life today is agriculture, where genetically modified food are constantly being made and debated about, and these are some applications for DNA. And so I hope through our little experiment of DNA extraction and also our presentation, you get to understand more deeply about what is DNA, because DNA is a very important part of your body. Thank you, and have a good day.